Hi guys, welcome back to Reading Euphoria. My name is Georgia and today I am going to be filming my January TBR. So for the month of January I've got 10 books, which is what I am going to stick to for all of my TBRs for 2019. So you know what to expect. So obviously as well I am doing my rereads this year, but for the month of January I've already said that I'm going to be reading Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson because the Vanishing Stair is coming out the end of January, beginning of February, so I have got it on pre-order, so I'm very excited. But I want to read this one first in preparation for the second one to come out so I can refresh my mind of the series. For those of you who don't know, this is a YA mystery based on the main character of Stevie Bell, and she goes to Ellingham Academy to solve the mystery of how Albert Ellingham's wife and daughter went missing back in 1936. So really interesting, and I can't wait to see how the second one transforms the story and what happens next. So I'm really excited to read this again. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars the first time that I read it, so I'm really hoping that I love it just as much as I did the first time. So first book of January TBR is Truly Devious. And my second book is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This book was a massive hit in 2018, and can I just say I've got red spray pages. My boyfriend brought me this for Christmas, so I am very excited for this, and the sequel comes out, I believe, the start of March. So I'm not sure how many books are actually in the series. This has never really taken my fancy, although I have heard so much hype about this, but now that I've got myself a copy, I am very excited to get to it. This is based on based in Africa, and it's magic and all of that type of thing. They killed my mother, they took our magic, they tried to bury us, now we rise. So it's based in Africa and all of their magic and all of what they believe in. I think that that's what it's about, so I'm very excited for this one. So many people have loved it, so I hope that I do as well. Next is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. I am doing a reread of this series, as if you watch my old videos you will know. So I am reading this one this month and then the last two in the months of February and March to kind of spread them out a little bit. This is like a 740 odd page book, so it is a chunker, so probably in my top 3 of the Harry Potter books. So very excited and can't wait to delve into the Harry Potter world again. Next is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. I recently read The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and this is the second one in the series. I'm not sure if the series is just a duology or if there are books to follow, but this one I am very excited for. I really enjoy The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and I believe that this one, rather than the other one followed the main character of Monty, this book is following his sister's Felicity and kind of her point of view and what happens with her. So very excited to learn more about her character. She had a very interesting character in the last book, so I am excited to read more about her and find out what she gets up to. Next is Wild Magic by Tamora Pierce. This is book 1 in the Immortals Quartet. I received this book in, I think, a chocolate and a book subscription box, some sort of subscription box, and I am very excited to get to this. Tamora Pierce is an author that I've heard a lot about, but I have never read one of her books, so to receive one is kind of giving me the kick up the butt to start reading some of her books. And this one's quite a thin one as well, so it should be quite cool. I'm not really sure what it's about, but I do know that it's a fantasy, so for my fantasies I do like going into them and not knowing really what the plot's about, just because I like that kind of magic that keeps it alive, whereas I think that if you read the plot you kind of ruin it for yourself a little bit. So very excited to get to this one and explore Tamora Pierce's writing. Next is The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This has been on my bookshelf for ages, and so many people read it when it came out, and I believe the second one's out, or there's the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle's out, I believe. I'm not sure whether it's like a sequel or whether it's a completely new independent book or what. It sounds like a sequel, but I don't want to make that assumption. So this one is a chunker, and I'm probably going to regret putting it in my TBR along with Order of the Phoenix, but hey ho, let's try and have a really good reading month for January. So this book is a murder mystery mystery, I believe. I am not really too sure what it's about, but it's based on Evelyn Hardcastle, and clearly she has 7 deaths, so clearly I am excited about it, so very excited to learn more about this book. Next is Dear Martin by Nick Stone. This book I am very interested in. It's also a thin book, so you know that works perfectly with the chunks that I've got in this TBR, but I believe that this book is similar to Tyler Johnson Was Here and The Hate You Give, where it is based on the injustices of black people and is based on the main character of Justice McAllister, and he's basically very well taught in or study the teachings of Martin Luther King, and so he is kind of knows a lot about, and especially being a black person, he knows how hard that it is to live in a world where he is a black person. And it says that he's a good kid, an honor student on his way to Yale, so why is he the one in handcuffs? So this does sound really, really good. I've never read a Nick Stone book, and I do already have the odd one out. I believe it is of hers as well. So I'm excited to read one of her books, and hopefully I'll really enjoy her writing. Next is Fragments of Lost by Megan Miranda. This book I got at Yalk, and I believe it's been on maybe a couple of TBRs, but I have never got to this. But this is based on 2 best friends, and one of them dies and they blame the other one, or they say they, but I'm not really sure. I reckon it's the community. They blame Jessa for the accident. And then she then starts going through her boyfriend's stuff, because that Caleb died and it was her boyfriend. She starts going through his stuff, and she kind of discovers stuff that she didn't know about him, and she still learns stuff about things he died, of his things after he's died, sorry, and she doesn't believe that he's the boyfriend that she thought that she knew. So this one does sound very exciting. I believe that it has some sort of magical element, some sort of fantasy in there, so very excited to get to this. I'm not sure if it does have magical elements to it, or if it is fantasy, but either way I'm excited, whether it is just him leading another life, so it should be a good one. Next is Slow Horses by Nick Heron. This has been in a number of TBRs, and I need to get to this one because it's part of a series, and there are like 20,000 books in the series, and this is a mystery, adult mystery, and I'm really excited about it. And it's kind of like right up my street, where it's based on like the intelligence service and detectives and all stuff like that, and based on terrorists as well, I believe. So very excited to start this series, and I need to read it. It probably will be one of my first priorities in the month of January, because this needs to happen. I need to get to it now. And last but not least is All the Beautiful Strangers by Elizabeth Kelfoff. This has also been in a couple of my TBRs, and loads of people have said that it is a really, really good book, but it is a chunker, which has kind of put me off for getting to it, because it's got to the end of the month and I just want a little skinny book so I can complete something. But this is a YA mystery thriller, and it just sounds really, really good, and I really, really want to get to it. So I'm not too sure what the plot is about, but I know that it's a mystery, and I love a good mystery, so I'm really, really excited to get to this. So that is my TBR for the month of January, over and done with. 10 books. Hopefully I will get to all of them, and maybe I'll even need something else to read. Who knows? But hopefully I will get to all of these, and yeah, I'm really excited to start the year off with a really good reading month, fingers crossed. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you again soon. Bye!